So for the white powers that be to come along with this, the women of the movement, to give the impression that they're just trying to give the women some shine that they have not gotten, that's a con game. That's what the white feminists used to do in the 60s. They used to go to sisters and say, well, those black power dudes, they're taking all the shine from you. They got you in the kitchen. You guys need to separate from them and get with us, and we'll be sisters in the struggle. That was a con game. That's why they finance books by these random unknown mammies like this Michelle Wallace. They had a book called Black Macho talking about how the Black Panthers and all these guys were so misogynistic and they wanted patriarchy and blah, 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 blah. So some women fell for that garbage and they saw the failure in that. That turned out to be a huge failure because you realize that these white women who were acting like your damn sisters, they were just using black women and black people as a Trojan horse to come in with their agenda. You understand? The same way the white LGBT does that con game now. The white women were doing that in the 60s. White women were getting 50% of all of the spoils of white supremacy, right along with the white male. They've never been separated from the white male. Ever, ever, ever. They've been right there, lockstep with the white supremacist male. The white supremacist female is worse in many ways because she raises the white supremacist male. She raised this guy. She breastfeeds this racist bastard. She raised the white supremacist male. So they ran the con game in the 60s talking about white women are now minorities. And the reason they did that is right before they signed the Civil Rights Bill to give tangibles to minorities. And we should have ran from the minority word a long time ago. But we were like, okay, anything is better than nothing. So they threw that minority word out there. And at the very last minute, they said, oh yeah, by the way, white women are minorities too. So white women would sit up here and say, oh yeah, our oppression is just like yours, winking at white daddy over there. So all of these programs and benefits started to go to white women. And they would use black women as the mascot. Look at our sister right here. Whoa, our sister. Yeah, not only does our sister right here, she has to deal with racism, she also has to deal with patriarchy in her own community. So we're all in the same boat. Ain't that right, Sharquisha? Surely is. So you had a couple of mammies that went for that, acted as the mascot, and the white supremacist women started getting all of those minority benefits, bringing them back home to the white man, and they up here high-fiving each other. They ran a con game. Now, let's be clear. Some of the mammies, and we got to see where these mammies come from, because let's be real. That mammy class, where did they come from? Where did these mammies come from? See, they tried this whole gender divide. They were trying that for a long time during the Jim Crow era, but sisters were rejecting that. A lot of the sisters were like, no, us and the black men, we're in the same boat, so we're not doing the gender divide thing. No, they tried that with Ida B. Wells. Ida B. Wells was like, no, we ain't doing that. I'm trying to stop them from lynching our men, and I'm going to fight for our men. If y'all hoes ain't trying to help me with that, well, y'all just wasting my time. Ida B. Wells just told him straight up and down, I'm riding with the men in my community. You understand? They've always tried to do that gender divide, but it wouldn't work. But it started working really in the 70s. They were planting the seeds in the 60s, but it started working in the 70s. Why did it work in the 70s? Who are the main people they were getting? You got to understand. The main people that they were getting with that feminist bullshit, that gender divide stuff, they were getting immigrant mammies, particularly those Caribbeans. Somebody in the room jumped right up in it. Y'all jump right ahead of me. Shirley Chisholm, she was one of the main ones pushing that shit. Shirley Chisholm, somebody in the chat room, I see you guys are up on your history. Shirley Chisholm, who's Caribbean, and we welcome her. That was another black person. Come on in, sister, we got you. So we embrace Shirley Chisholm Like our sister in the struggle, which we embraced a lot of Caribbeans and other people, we fought for a lot of the immigrants to come over here. So when they would get over here, people like Shirley Chisholm started that, well, the women, we got to join with these white women. We got to deal with the patriarchy. They started all that bullshit. Those Caribbean mammies, we're going to have to get down on this, man. This is why it has been so important for us to acknowledge our foundational Black American heritage, ladies and gentlemen, so that we can trim the fat and understand who these people are coming into the mix, trying to undermine us as foundational Black Americans. But really, a lot of them Caribbean mammies, and look at today. Look at who are the people who push that, the black men, all the white supremacists of Black society, all of that. It's these Caribbean mammies. Tyrannosaurus Burke. Remember, Tyrannosaurus Burke is Caribbean. That's where this stuff is coming from. These foreign mammies. You understand? Okay. So speaking of those Caribbean mammies who's getting in the mix and always trying to undermine us, that lieutenant governor out there in Virginia, this is what she was talking about. First Black Jamaican immigrant woman, lieutenant governor, says that we need to move on from slavery. That mammy that they put out there, that Republican mammy with that janky jerk chicken kitty perm she got, up here talking about foundational Black Americans need to get over slavery. You know, that's kind of a common narrative with a lot of these tethers. They do that. They get over here, and I really resent that in so many ways. Akon, the rapper, he was doing that, who's from Senegal somewhere, and they specifically brought him here to give birth to him, to anchor him here. And then he gets on Vlad and all of these people, their platforms, talking about we got to get over slavery. Man, please. Who are you guys to tell us what we need to get over? It was our foundational Black American family sacrificing, building this nation so that you can come over. And also the fact that you can get anchored here is because of the movements of foundational Black Americans who were fighting for the 14th Amendment. Remember, it's the 14th Amendment that allows people to come over here and anchor their kids here. Meaning if you're born on this soil, that automatically makes you a citizen. That's directly from the 14th Amendment, which was a grassroots movement. It was Black organizations out of Philadelphia fighting for the 14th Amendment, literally dying. There were Black people who got shot fighting for the 14th Amendment, organizing. That's why any motherfucker who done immigrated here, who fixed their mouth to tell us what we need to get over, you can kiss my ass. For real. You understand?